Hey, welcome to this week's Lead Loud video. My name is Richard Mulholland. I'm the founder of Presentation Powerhouse Missing Link. And each week we try to answer a question for you around presentation, public speaking, entrepreneurship, or just life in general. And the question for this week, well, that's in the last category. It's a life question, but it can definitely apply to the other three. The question is this: how do you stick to your goals? And that's what I'm going to answer right after this. Now, sometimes this idea of goals, well, having goals and doing things is not very in vogue anymore. Just have habits, sure. But sometimes our habits have to work towards something, and I believe they are. And what I'm going to share with you today is a technique that I use to, in 1 year, lose 20 kilograms, in the following year, double my amount of invested income, and this year, get me to a point where I have 90 minutes per day where I'm able to free up for deep work and deep learning. This is my theme of the year, is my year of learning. And I want to take you through the very, very simple tool that I use and process I use. It's completely hacked my reality and it's turned me into a better person. So stick with me and we'll go through it. The way it all started was actually my frustration. So it'd been a couple of years, and every year I would wait, get near the end of the holiday season, and I ate a lot and I started to put on weight and feel very, very self-conscious about myself. And I was frustrated. I wanted to lose the weight, right? I really, really did feel that I was uncomfortable, unhealthy, and all of these things. And so what I do is I wait for New Year's Eve to come along, and I'd be like, hey, okay, New Year's Eve, this is fantastic. When I set a New Year's resolution, New Year's comes, we're all like, yay, and this is going to be the year that I lose the weight. And it's great. The problem is my sister's birthday is in the 4th of January, and then there's cake, and, it would be rude not to. So then I eat it, and then I'm like, well, there goes the New Year's resolution to, stop eating chocolate or sweets or cake or whatever the case may be. And that was it. And then I just rage quit, I'm done. That's it. Bullshit. I'm out of here. And I quit again, and I carry on. Because again, if you say you'll stop smoking in 1st of January and then you have a cigarette in your 3rd, well, you didn't stop. So, you may as well quit on quitting. And that's kind of what happened for me. And it was very frustrating. And my first realization was a year is too long. The problem with New Year's resolutions is a year is too long. But then I thought about it and thought, well, a year is long. And actually, that's kind of helpful as well, because the New Year's resolution is only payable on the 31st of December. I have a full calendar year to get there. So that was my first hypothesis. My first realization was, well, I didn't say that I had to quit. I just had to have achieved X by the end of this year. So I thought, okay, that's giving me a time horizon. And then the second thing I realized, and this, if there's only one thing you take away from today, let it be this: that progress ain't perfect, and you need to factor for failure. Right? The idea of progression, we have linked progression and perfection together in our minds. So we think that if we say we must stick to X and we break it, then we quit because we haven't got through there. But if we factor failure as part of the process, not even as a failure, it's actually just simply a decision sometimes for you, then all of a sudden you're okay to carry on going. So how did I do it? Well, what I did is I created this idea of breaking it down into micro victories. And instead of focusing on a New Year's resolution, what I decided to focus on was a new day's resolution. So every single day I have a new day's resolution, and it's relatively simple. And I want to share with you the technique for it, the way I work through it. And I really, 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 really want to ask you to do me just one favor. In fact, 3 favors: like, subscribe, and 1 favor. And the 1 favor is just try it tomorrow. That's it. Just try it tomorrow. So what I want you to do first right now is sit down and think about, in the next 365 days, starting from today, there's no reason it has to be in a calendar year, or I want you to figure out, what is your victory condition? What is it going to be? This is going to be the year of X. And again, for a few years ago, it was my year of health. The next year was my year of wealth. I didn't feel like I felt like I understood how to make money. I didn't understand how to create wealth. And then this year was my year of learning and my year of time. I wanted to get more focused on deep work and to really, really focus on my area of authority. And the reason I've got games here is, if I want to teach, you can see my board game collection behind there. If I want to teach you a board game, the most important thing to understand is the victory condition. Once you understand the victory condition, then all the rules start making sense. But then you get onto the next phase. So I explained to you how the game plays. Then what you got to do is look at the whole board state, and in this case, your life, and you have to plot the paths to victory. So let's say, for example, your year was a health year, like mine was a few years ago. So I might have a couple of different, I wrote out a whole bunch of different paths to victory that I could follow. So one was eat under 200 calories. One was eat under 2,000 calories. So eating under 2,000 calories. I promise you, I never had a 200 calorie day. The next one was to put the cutlery down between bites. Now, this is important because what people do is they create rules for themselves, like eat no carbs. What? Eat no carbs today. Victory, the end of the day. Cool. Tomorrow, put your calorie down between bites. By the way, I cannot tell you how big a deal this is, right? Eat 15 minutes between firsts and seconds. If you're going to have seconds, you have to wait 15 minutes. I set a timer. So I gave myself those kind of goals. Another one might be to do 30 pull-ups throughout the day. And then another one might be nothing at all to do with that particular goal of maybe weight and health. I'd just put in another New Day's resolution, like do a 30-minute meditation. So what I did is I plotted myself at the beginning of the year about 10 to 15 different potential New Day resolutions that I would throw out throughout the day. And I would set to do those things. And probably, if there was 15, 10 of them were to do with the absolute goal, and 5 of them were they were for a different victory condition altogether, but they were just something I wanted to focus on. And I was also very willing to have specific new ideas and to change them up as I went. This wasn't canon. These were just ideas. So what would happen? Well, I would go to bed in the morning, and I would wake up in the morning, and I would set a goal for the day. So if my goal for the day was do 30-minute meditation, the following day when I woke up, what I would do is I would have a quick look to see, and did I do that the day before? If I did, I marked off in my little calendar or app or whatever it was I was using at the time. And really, you could just use a note-taking app for this thing. But yeah, you don't have to get overly technical. Then what I would do is I would just give myself a V emoji, victory emoji, right? I had achieved my victory. And you know what the funny thing is? You win. You feel like a winner. I made my goal for the day. That is a win. Dopamine. Boom. I started my day as a success. However, sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I even decided to I just don't feel like doing it today. Well, that's okay. Then the following morning I woke up and I gave myself this emoji because that day was a failure. That day, it wasn't a success. But here's the rule, and this is what made it interesting. If I managed to achieve 5 victory conditions and only 2 fails in any given week, then my week was a win, right? So my week could be a win, even though I failed 2 times. And in fact, some days I'll sit there and I'll be looking at something and think, I just don't feel like doing it today. I'm going to award myself a fail day, a cheat day. So I can award myself a day where I've decided not to stick to my goals and feel completely guilt-free about it because it's a win. Now, some days, though, maybe I'm having a particularly rough week and I just don't manage to stick to it and something doesn't happen. And by the way, I always try my best to never have 2 failed days in a row if I can help it. 99% of the time, I don't. If I failed yesterday, then the next day I'd have to really mess up. I would never have a deliberate cheat or deliberate fail the next day. But it's okay because, if let's say I managed to in one particular week, I was like, it just didn't come together and I end up having 3 fails, well, that's okay. So that particular week is a loss. Not the end of the world, because a day is only part of a week and a week is only part of a month. And when it comes to a month, you can see here, if I have no more than 1 week that is a failure, my month is a victory, right? And then I get that little trophy emoji. And then if in a year, if I go on and, and manage to have no more than 1 failed month, and I promise you, it's actually very difficult to get 2 weeks wrong in a month. And so it's definitely difficult to have more than 2 months wrong in a year. And if I manage to make that happen, then boom, and it's my favorite emoji ever, right? Then I will win this and I reward myself in the year. And as such, the last 4 years, my New Year's resolutions have stuck because I broke them on into days and I'm baked in failure. Like I factored in the failure and I understood that progress wasn't perfect. So that's the challenge for you. One little tip I want to give to you as well is always start something today and only ever quit tomorrow. So if you want to start this, say, cool, I'm going to set my goal. Tomorrow morning's goal is going to be this. I'm going to do it. And you do it, you write it in place. And even if you're, first half of the day and you can still make a goal by tomorrow morning, write it down now and only look at this again when you wake up in the morning. If you want to quit on anything, tell yourself, okay, fine, I'm going to quit. I don't like doing this anymore. I'm going to quit, but I'll quit tomorrow. I'll still do today's goal. And so try and think through that. If you do that, I promise you this will make a material difference on your life. So that's it. That's the trick. Super easy. Please let me know. If you want to be held accountable, feel free to put your victory condition down below. What you want this year to be about. Put that down below for you, and I will make sure to help you out and try and encourage you as much as I can along the way. That's it. I hope this has been helpful for you. If it has, again, please consider hitting like if it's been really helpful. And if it does make an impact in your life, come back and hit subscribe. I hope to share with you other valuable ideas. And in fact, in future episodes, I'm going to talk to you about the value of streaks and why they play such an important part in my life. And also the other parts of my morning routine that I do, as well as setting a new day resolution. So I hope to see you back again soon. Until next time, lead loud. Peace.